This new moon in Aries on the 17th is not alone. In fact, it's part of a stellium of 7 planets in the same sign, all direct. And this is not common astrology. This is an intensification of all things Aries pushing forward. And Aries is the young cardinal fire sign that starts the astrological year in the spring equinox. It is represented by the ram, and its symbol doubles from the ram's horns to the sprout of springtime. Aries is ruled by Mars, the cosmic warrior, and is also the god of sex, spreading the seed for new beginnings, and is in rulership and power in its own sign. And new moons are all about seeds of intentions that start new beginnings that will manifest in the next 6 months. So this is a double whammy of new energy, the fuel and the fire. We can feel it in the blood, which Aries rules, along with the head, both physically and energetically, triggering tension, headaches, and it rules the adrenals, so we tend to burn the candles at both ends. So how to best utilize this energy? The new moon is at 27 degrees, which makes it a new moon in Aries also in the Vedic sidereal system. So it's a triple whammy of this energy, but it's at the latest degrees. So the energy is not totally new. This may be the final try at something new that was green before and now has matured enough to manifest in real life. The new moon is conjunct Chiron, the wounded planet, which hints that this beginning is filled with insecurities of either past failed attempts or self-limiting beliefs that we need to get over with if we are to move forward. Chiron represents the challenge to overcome. For me, has been to put my face online. I struggle with the fact that I don't look like 10 years ago, but I began to revel in the fact that I look better than 10 years from now. And with all this AI, I was tempted to clone myself, not to replace myself, but to multiply myself, both for productivity and to make myself younger. Believe me, I try, but I look rather robotic. So I realized that the only people who care about my looks are me, myself, and I. So all 3 of us are getting over it, because the only thing that actually can help you is my message. Now, the new moon is ruled by Mars, the planet of action, and is at the midpoint of Mercury, the messenger, that in Aries thinks out loud without filter, and Saturn, the cosmic stop sign, aka Kronos, the lord of time and karma, warning us about the consequences of what we do and what we say. Mars and Saturn conjunctions are known for one foot on the gas, another one on the brakes. So we want to speed, but we encounter a limitation, a restriction. Saturn has been called the great malefic and Mars the lesser malefic. But as I always say, those terms in astrology just depict the ease or lack thereof in terms of dealing with those energies, and not necessarily good or bad as we label them. All planets comprehend the full spectrum of energies from the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's upon us to harness their power to manifest the highest vibration to offset the lowest manifestation. So this is a very fiery new moon. Now, as I mentioned before, in Chinese medicine, we classify fire as supplemental, that warms, or absolute, that burns. And this overall energy is absolute fire. But here, Saturn, that I like to call the great teacher because is in charge of the hard lessons in life, is at fall in Aries, so quite frustrated because he rules control and Aries is out of control. But here he comes to temper the fire to make sure that it warms, but not enough to burn the bridge. Now, recently Mars had conjunct Neptune, the planet of dissolution, that also helps dissolve the absolute fire with its moist nature. And we might have had some confusions or questioning regarding our direction, or on a higher note, it provided with the vision that gives Mars a destination to aim for, while Saturn provides the structure and the discipline to shape that vision so the action is within a framework to build over a foundation, so it's not a castle in the air, because Saturn doesn't want you to give up your dreams, but it wants you to make them real. And what's real is not ideal, and what's ideal is not real. So this might have a built-in disillusion or disappointment to test your passion, not to derail you from it, but to check how committed you are so it can withstand the test of time. like the eternal flame of the asteroid Vesta that represents that which you invest yourself in. And it happens to be at the midpoint of the North Node, representing our North Star to follow, and Pallas Athena, the asteroid of strategy. All of them in Pisces, the sign that encompasses the full spectrum from sacrifice to the divine. So the question is, what are you sacrificing for your mission? And Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation, is in a supportive sextile with a triple conjunction of Mars, Mercury, and Saturn, assisting with deep transformation that is necessary to manifest your dreams. So here Pluto is helping you to become the magician that you're required to be to make your magic happen. But they're making a yod, aka a finger of God, pointing to the south node of past, loss, and karma. And this is to remind us to learn from our mistakes, not to repeat them. And Jupiter in Cancer is the great benefic exalted, but is squaring the midpoint between the new moon of new beginnings and Saturn, the planet of limitations, challenging us to grow, but in ways that are sustainable so we don't drop the ball. And Jupiter is in a supportive sextile with Venus, the planet of love, harmony, and money, and is conjunct by orbs, so not exact, with Uranus, the planet of surprises, in Taurus, the sign of production and values, favor in financial matters, and for some, even love. Just don't jump to second base before you touch first.